Alright, continuing on with our pentatonic licks, we're at number 10. Here it is slow. Couple things going on here. First of all, we are starting with that combo lick we did earlier, seen in lick number 8. That's the one where you do the bend and release to a pull-off. Then you're going to do a rollover across the 7th fret and back. So it's a rollover to reverse rollover. 7th fret 4th string to 7th fret 3rd string and back. In order to execute this, again, you're actually taking the note from the flat part of the finger, then collapsing the joint or rolling over onto the next string, and then rolling back onto the tip or close to the tip if you can, like such. And that's much quicker, again, than trying to jump the strings. Now, one question I often get about the very ending of this lick is, do we execute a rollover on the last 2 notes since they are both on the 7th fret, albeit on the 5th string going to the 4th? And the answer is no in this case, because you want to end this lick with some vibrato, so you are in this case going to jump the string, positioning the hand in a way to be able to do vibrato. So here it is again. Alright, so now lick number 11. Slow. This lick starts out with that blues motive we learned in lick number 5. What's tricky about it is that right after you do that, you're going to do a second bend on the 8th fret of the 2nd string, and again you are going to substitute the 3rd finger for the pinky in order to properly execute that bend. But then as you return to the lick and take the scale back down the strings, you go back to the pinky. So here it is again, slow. Lick number 12. This lick is a series of rapid-fire pull-offs, and the way to pull it off is to actually bar the finger across the first 2 strings. I actually do somewhat of a rollover as I'm pulling off from the top string. I'll sort of roll over a bit down, put more pressure on the 2nd string, and then roll back up, putting more pressure on the 1st string. But nevertheless, that first finger is essentially barred across both strings. So doing that while rolling over slightly is going to enable you to play these pull-offs quicker than if you were to try to jump over the strings. And there's a couple tips that enable guitar players to get good sounding pull-offs, and a good sounding pull-off is one where the note that is pulled off to sounds just as loudly as the note that's picked. For example, here when I pull the first note to the 2nd, you can hear the 2nd note is just as loud as the 1st, or almost as loud. There's a couple ways to get that. First of all, you need to make sure that when you are pulling off, you aren't just lifting off the string by just taking the finger straight off of it. That's not going to give you very good pull-off. You actually want to take a little bit of the string with you So you pull in a somewhat down and out direction. Down meaning that you're kind of pulling your finger toward the direction of the floor, but you are coming out so as to clear the strings that are below. It is okay to rub up against the strings that are below. However, you would want to make sure that the first finger, or whatever finger you're pulling off to, is also rubbing up against them so that it mutes them out. Another thing you can do is you can make sure that whatever finger you're pulling off to, in this case the first finger, make sure that it is stabilized, that you're pressing down on it pretty hard. In fact, sometimes you can even put a little tension on it in the opposite direction to really keep it in place. You don't want to sort of let the pull or the action of the pull drag the string down like this. I'll see that a lot when people first start trying to do pull-offs. So putting a little opposing tension on the finger that is being pulled to will help you get a strong pull-off. The next lick is just the opposite. You're doing hammer-ons across the top two strings. And again, just kind of utilizing a bar, a slight rolling over across those two strings, and making sure with the hammer-on that you're getting as much on the tip of the hammering finger, in this case the pinky, as you can. And getting as close to the tip is going to be the best way to put that direct pressure that you need to get a good hammer on. And of course we're playing with distortion, which always helps, but it's important to actually really kind of take that finger and almost act as though you're trying to push that string right into the wood in the guitar's fretboard to ensure that that hammer note is as loud as the note you picked. All right, let's look at lick number 14. Here it is slow. Lick number 14 is a combo hammer pull to another hammer pull off on the second string. So you're hammering from 5 to 8, and then without picking, pulling back off to 5. A couple notes of the scale, and then you're doing the same thing on the second string, hammering from 5 to 8, pulling back off to 5, and then down the scale.